Gonna try on my long white robes down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, gonna try on. From the first chapter of St. Luke, beginning at the 18th verse. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captive, and the recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bound, and to preach the acceptable year of our Lord. Now the time have come that was Christ's purpose on earth. We only been getting by paying our way to hell, but the time is out. While Simon of Cyrene was helping Christ to bear his cross up the hill, he said, must Jesus bear this cross alone and all the world go free? He said, no. There's a cross for everyone, and there's a cross for me. This consecrated cross I bear till death shall set me free, and then go home a crown to wear. For there's a crown for me. And there's no easy way out. We're just going to have to face it, folks. And if I could face this issue, you can too. You know the thing what's so pitiful about it. The men's been wanting to be the boss all these years. And now the ones what ain't hiding up under the house is hiding up under the bed. But you see, that's pausing. It's pausing for us to know the truth and not to stand up and speak what we know is right. Christ said, have made of one blood all the nations for to dwell on the face of the earth. That it's no different because for color. And brother, you can believe this or not, I've been sick of this system for long as I can remember. I hear some people speak of depression. You know, in the 30s. In the 20s, it is depression with me. Depression? I've been as hungry. Here's a funny thing, you know. Since I started to working for Christ, it's kind of like the 23rd Psalm. Said, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. See, I done walked through this valley of the shadow of death because it was on the 10th of September, 1962. They shot 16 times in a house, 1 foot over the bed where my head was. But that night I won't there. Don't you see what God can do? Quit running around trying to dodge them, because the good book say, he that seeketh to save his own life, you're going to lose it anyhow. So long as you go on after something, you put up the little life, then you can be like Paul and say, I have fought the good fight and I have kept the faith. People, it's been a long time. I reckon I worked as hard as anybody. Sometime I'd be standing in the field and I'd be so hungry. You know, one of the poison things about it, I'd be standing there wondering what was I going to cook for supper that night. But you see, all them things was wrong. And I asked God, I said, my Lord, please, and you have too. No news to your lying and saying you ain't. My Lord, please make a way for me so I can stand up and speak for my race and speak for all these hungry children. And he opened up a way, and all them opened up a bank account. See, he made it so plain for us He sent a man to Mississippi. Was the same man he sent with Moses to Egypt. Told him, go down to Mississippi and tell Ross Barnett to let my people go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.